G'day YouTube. Anyway, today, as I've been going through my toolbox and finding my tools, okay, I've been finding that some of my pliers have been a bit rusty. Some tools that I don't even use are hard to open. A lot of these pliers are just like full on pretty much rusted. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this apple cider vinegar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a container, put my pliers in the container, and hopefully the rust will go away. Then once that goes away, we'll spray it with a clear lacquer instead of painting them. Because I do have a few rusty tools that are laying around and don't want to throw them out, even though some of these are only like $5, but $5, $10, $15, $20, as you know, it gets expensive. Then we've got drill bits, some drill bits here, we can do those. This isn't necessarily a new process of way to do things, but this is just one of the steps that I'm doing as I'm cleaning up, finding some things in my toolbox that really need to go in a wash. I mean, get cleaned up anyway. Anyway, this is just a PP container, polypropylene container. It doesn't say it, but I should. No, it doesn't say it. Right now, this will be alright to hold the apple cider vinegar. Just depending on how rusty it is the time you leave it in. And the experiment that I'm actually going to do is see if we can actually get almost like a fully working pair of pliers back, because this is almost like rusted, but probably a bit of CRC and a bit of polish, but we'll see how this goes anyway. Put that in, probably need a bit more. Right, I've got all the metal bits dunked in. That's that lot. Then I'll use another container for the some other bits and pieces. The good thing about milk containers is they're not just necessarily handy to hold milk. Because of the properties, you can hold chemicals in them. Because it's HDPE. Well, anyway, one of the properties we have with milk bottles is that they're pretty much cheap to have. No one wants them, and they make good containers. So say if you wanted to put a long part in, you could actually just cut the top off here, fill it, and just fill it with this, then just put your object in. Or if it's a wide thing, cut this out and just stick it straight in a bath. Very handy, the containers to have. Or if you're wanting to make a funnel, there you go. Cut the bottom off. Cut the bottom off, and you have a funnel. Very simple. Especially if you wanted to do motor oil or something like that. Alright, that's the right lid. Sometimes the lids are different. different pattern. Not every company is going to have the same screw pattern. Anyway, so for this one here, what I thought was we might just cut it. Even some of my blades are gone a bit rusty. Yeah. Alright, so watch your fingers, boys and girls. And the good thing is, if you screw the container, doesn't matter. You can always get another one. Alright. Just make sure it's done up. What we do is we get our drill bits, ones that are rusty. Some of these you could possibly put on a wire wheel and work out alright, but since it's in the bath, alright. See if our lid holds. Yep, holding. The only other thing I want to do now is find some of my driver bits. Some of my driver bits need a little bath. As you can see, there are some rusty bits in here. Just put those in. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll leave that in for a day or so, then we'll have a look tomorrow and see what it's like. Depending on how this goes, we'll see it try and do something bigger. What else we got that's a bit rusty? Don't want to overload at the moment, but chisel, punches. Not too bad. Alright. That could go in. See how that reacts with the plastic or the. Alright. See you tomorrow. G'day, it's been probably 48 hours since I actually put it in. Give you a look. Looks pretty sweet, doesn't it? You can definitely see there is rust at the bottom of the container. Some of these pliers that have gone in, I have actually come out and opened them up a bit, then put it in, then taken them out, then moved it around, then put them back in again. So some of them have definitely come better, except for some of the ones that I haven't really done that. They're definitely freeing up, but that's what you got to do. You got to try and force them out a bit, stick them back in. Some of these were just like really tight, couldn't do that before. These will take a bit longer to do. What we're going to do is we're going to take these out, clean those up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this pure baking soda, and what that will do is it'll stop the etching process of the apple cider vinegar. Alright, so what we need to do now is we need another container. Since these are free, I have another one. Alright, so just give the milk container a wash out. Should use a sharp knife, but this one's rusty, so maybe I might put it in there. Alright. All we need to do now is get some water, and we'll put our baking soda in. What I've done is I've just gone to the tap and put some warm water in here. I don't think it really needs to be warm water or whatever. I don't think the temperature really matters. Anyway, so put some baking soda in. Probably should use the glove, but what we'll do is we'll stir that now. Give it a mix. That looks like enough baking soda in there. Have a look at that. There's a close-up view of our nice puddle of apple cider vinegar. Okay, what we are going to attempt to do now is going to pull a couple of them out and give them a bit of a clean. Just use the big hand. What we'll do is we'll give it a bit of a brush off here, then what we'll do is going to put it over into our bath of bicarb soda. Right, here we go. In real time. Maybe not. Not in real time. Now in real time. Rust seems to have gone. We'll have to give these a good clean. But that looks pretty good to me. It's just made a bit of a stain mark. I don't know if that will clean out, but it might do. Just give it a brush. Just give it a wipe now. Compared to the normal chisel, where's the normal chisel? Okay, that's the normal chisel, and that's the chisel after it's been in the bath. But then again, the chisel didn't look like this when it went in. But if you want the shine back, I imagine you just need to polish it and the shine will come back. Then you just need to treat it. Put a gloss coat on it, or alright, one chisel that's resurrected. Right, next one in the drink. Little bits. Has come up a treat. What I'll do is with the little bits here, I'll just dunk them in there and clean them all at once. Do our bigger bit now. Alright, all I'm going to do is just take out the little bits now. The little bits. The ones that have a lot more rust, this one here, this one's got a bit more rust than the other ones. Oh, well, that's surprised me. It's come up a treat too. Trying to get all the small bits out before I get the big bits. Alright, now, see this draw bit? It's rather rusty, so we'll see how we go. I can't promise anything. Drill bits are like a bit of a dime a dozen. You think, is it worth it to try and get a drill bit back? But then again, is it worth it to get a little driver bit back? It all adds up in the end. Might have to give that a go on the wire wheel. What else we got? These bits have come up alright, compared to when they went in. A few people online have done this. This is where I did research online, so this is just another one added to the bunch, but it's just something that I had to do to try and clean some of my tools up. And I give a thumbs up to this apple cider vinegar. It's a bit messy. Alright, no more bits left. There. Alright. Just make sure you clean up as you go. The next step is to take those out of there and give them a dry, bit of a clean. Once they're dried and cleaned, then we'll give them a spray. Just depending on your application, you might want to spray it with CRC or whatever. We're only spraying it to stop the flash rust. It's still warm. Speed this up, but Should probably drain that. Probably be the quickest. Okay, I've just gone outside and I've just poured out the liquid. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to take the whole lot and put it on our paper. This should be the quickest way of drying them. We can put that drill bit back in, see how that goes. Because it's rather rusty. Yeah, alright. Put it back in. Originally these had like I think like a black coating on them. It sort of has eaten the coating off, but the rust is gone, which is good. It's just the tedious process now of actually cleaning them. Wiping them down, I should say. Suppose it's that, then buying new ones. Some of the bits I've got here are like little cheapos, but when they break, then I get new ones. I've just finished cleaning the parts. My hands are dirty. Maybe I should have actually worn some gloves. Ha! Well, anyway, haven't washed them yet, so we'll see what they're like when I wash them. Anyway, so our next step is, what I've done is I've just stood all the bits up so I can now spray this way. By standing them up, you can spray it, turn them around. Well, I mean, you turn around and get a 360 degree coverage except for the bottom. All I need to do now is wait for about 10 minutes. These ones will be done. All these bits. Oh, I suppose I could probably do the bottom, but I don't necessarily need to do the bottom. But maybe you might. And just turn these bits here over. Then just do the other side. Then we're done. Yay. It's not quite dry yet, but I'm running out of daylight at the moment, so I'm just going to cheat. It doesn't matter if these ones are glossy. What else? Just need to turn these over. Turn that over. That over. Drill can turn over. Just these bits here, turn that over, and we'll give it another spray. Boo! There we go. All done. All in all, cleaning these with the apple cider vinegar has worked out quite well. I did spray it with the clear instead of oiling it, so I thought that's pretty good. You probably could get like a matte clear. The one I've got's gloss, but it doesn't matter because what the tools are going to be used for anyway. So I think that's worked out quite well. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with that. The rust has come off. The only rust that is around is in that drill that we've got in the put back into the apple cider vinegar. But yeah, so that's I'm quite impressed with that. The way it was and the way it is now, much better. All I have to do with these ones here is open them and close them and leave them sit in the apple cider vinegar so it can try and do its magic with the rust. Once that's done, I'll show you a video on that. So yeah, bye. There you go. First part done. Second part will be the when I finish off the pliers. Alright, see ya. Bye.